In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how to master the 5 basic building blocks of Airtable. So whether you are brand new to the platform or just looking to sharpen your workflow, you will have a crystal clear understanding of how everything fits together. Airtable is a powerful no-code cloud platform that blends the simplicity of a spreadsheet with the muscle of a relational database, making it incredibly useful for tracking inventory, managing projects, or automating workflows in a highly visual, collaborative environment. If you find this helpful, please like and subscribe, and let's get started. Let's begin with the very first building block, the base. Think of a base as your complete project folder or workspace. Airtable actually shortens database to base, and that's exactly what it is. When you open Airtable for the first time, you will see a dashboard where you can create a new base from scratch or choose from a library of ready-made templates. A best practice here is to name your base after the specific project it holds, like Event Planning Base or Client Onboarding, because that clarity will save you a ton of time later when you have multiple bases open. One common pitfall beginners run into is cramming everything into a single base. But remember, bases are meant to be self-contained. You can always link data between them later. For now, create a new base, give it a descriptive name, and get comfortable with that main workspace. It is the container that will hold everything else we are about to build. Next up, we have tables. And this is where Airtable really starts to feel familiar if you have ever worked in a spreadsheet. Tables are essentially individual tabs inside your base, and each table holds one specific category of information. For example, if your base is for event planning, you might have a table for clients, another for vendors, and another for tasks. When you create a new table, Airtable prompts you to name it and choose a primary field. That is the very first column, usually the name of each item in your table. Here is an expert tip. Keep your tables focused on distinct, single-purpose datasets. Do not merge client information and vendor details into one table. By keeping them separate, you maintain clean, organized data that is much easier to filter and link later. If you accidentally create a table that feels too broad, do not worry. You can rename or duplicate it at any time, so just adjust as you go. Now we move to records, which are simply the rows within your table. Each record represents a single person, item, or task. If you are working in your clients table, every row is one unique client, with their own name, contact info, and notes. To add a record, just click into the next empty row and start typing, or use the Add Record button at the bottom of the table. Something many newcomers overlook is that records are the backbone of your database. Every piece of information you store lives inside a record, and you can have thousands of them in a single table. A best practice for my own workflow is to always fill out the primary field first. This is the field that acts as the record's label, so make it descriptive. For instance, instead of Client 1, use Acme Corp Annual Gala, because that instantly tells you what that record is about when you are scanning through a long list. The fourth building block is fields, and these are your columns. Fields define the type of data you are storing, and Airtable offers a rich variety of field types beyond just plain text. You have checkboxes for yes or no items, date fields for deadlines, single select and multi-select dropdowns for categories, and even file attachment fields for uploading images or PDFs directly into a record. When you create a new field, you choose its type, and that choice matters a lot. For example, if you are tracking project status, a single select field with options like Not Started, In Progress, and Complete is far better than a plain text field, because it keeps data consistent and allows you to filter or sort by status instantly. A common pitfall is using the wrong field type out of habit. Avoid just typing numbers into a text field when you could use a number field that calculates totals automatically. Take a few extra seconds to pick the right field type for each column, and your data will be infinitely more powerful and easier to analyze down the road. Finally, we have views, and this is where Airtable truly shines. Views are custom visual filters that let you look at the exact same data in completely different ways, without changing the underlying records. You can switch from a classic grid view to a calendar view to see deadlines, a Kanban board for tracking project stages, or a gallery view for visual browsing. To create a new view, just click the plus sign next to your existing view tabs at the top of the table. Airtable will copy all your records into the new view, but you can then apply filters, sort orders, and groupings that only affect that view. For instance, you might have a grid view showing all clients, but then create a calendar view that only displays clients with upcoming events. This flexibility means each team member can see the data in the format that makes the most sense for their role, all from the same base. So, to wrap it all up, you have now learned how bases, tables, records, fields, and views work together inside Airtable. By understanding these 5 building blocks, you can structure any project from scratch, whether you are managing a small team or a complex multi-department workflow. For your next step, I recommend playing around with linking records between tables. That connection is what turns a simple spreadsheet into a true relational database. If you need a refresher on any of these concepts, feel free to save this video or come back to it anytime. Thanks for sticking with me, and I will see you in the next one.